Alright, what up people? It's your boy Chig from Green and Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. Yes, believe it or not, I am doing this video live the day before at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night. Let's face it, nothing's open, so you guys are probably going to be in. If you're not in, you'll catch this first thing in the morning anyway, so it's what it is. But big up to everyone that is able to watch it live. Please do me a favor and hit the like on this video. I would really appreciate if you guys can do that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're fast closing in on 10K now. Hoping to do it really very, very soon. So please do help me get there by hitting that subscribe button. If you've already done that, make sure you share the video around. Because once you guys do that, it really does help the video get noticed and I can reach that goal sooner rather than later. Okay, I'm now calmed down. Since my last video, I've kind of just gone with the kind of, all right, let's just see what happens Monday attitude. And to be honest, it is now time to focus on the fact that we do have a game tomorrow against Sheffield United. Sheffield United are a team who last year took 4 points off us in total. They beat us away from home, of course. And they played very well, actually, to earn a real grinding 1-1 draw against us last year. I remember that game. It was very frustrating game to watch, but they deserved it. Sheffield United are an unusual team because, to be honest with you, they have started this season the way I expected them to start last season. They're not doing particularly well. I did reflect that in my predictions this year before the season got carried away. That I kind of felt like Sheffield United, they're a team that played very unusual sort of football. They kind of played with overlapping centre backs, which is not a technique that is very typical in the English Premier League. They played with the centre backs would continuously overlap, which would provide them a dimension that would be hard to figure out. But I also felt like that eventually would be found out by teams. And I even heard Arteta in the lead up to this game talk about the fact that he studied Sheffield United very carefully in the lead up to this game tomorrow. So I do think that this is a game that, should we take seriously, we should be able to beat them. I guess therein lies the problem. Are we going to take it seriously? Are enough of our players going to step up and do what is necessary in order to win this game? Those are the key questions. That is the question that I guess we all want to know, that we all need to know, is whether we're going to be able to do what is required in order to win this game. Having said all that, even with all the problems that we do have, I do think that we can win the game. I do think that at times it's going to be a bit of a physical battle. And I think at times we need to get used to the way that they play, particularly with regards to their overlapping centre-backs. Like I say, for me, crucially, that's the way they play. And we need to figure that out very, very quickly. But if Arteta has been watching him, like he says, then we should be able to do this, no problem. And I also think, I've got a feeling that Lacazette is not going to do well in this game, but Eddie Nketiah is. It just feels like that type of game. But having said that, for me, I've decided to pick the team that I think is going to cope best. And actually, I think we may have an opportunity to experiment in with this team a little bit as well. I'm going to show you what I mean when I show you my hopeful 1 to 11. Once again, guys, I recognize it is very, very late to do this preview. I'm going to be slap bang honest. I fell fucking asleep as soon as I blew my top. I fell asleep, and then I watched a little bit of Hugh Wizzy, and then I came on here. That is genuinely how my Saturday night has gone. Rock and roll, let me tell you. So I figured I'll at least try and do a preview. So apologies for how late this is. And yeah, let's get it done. All right, I'm going to show you what my hope for 1 to 11 is. So bear with me. Share screen. All right. So this is my hope for 1 to 11. So now you're probably looking at it thinking, all right, man, where's the experiment? Well, let me tell you. There's not a lot of pace in that back three. Obviously, I've gone with Bert Leonard in goal. I guess the one good thing about not having Martinez there is that we kind of always know that the goalkeeper is going to be Lennon. Whether you think that's a good thing or not is another question. But hey ho, it is what it is. I've gone with Bert Leonard. The back three is the experiment that I'm talking about. Now, I know that there's a real reluctance to play Gabriel on that left-hand side. We need a solution, particularly if the plan is to sell Kolasinac. For me, a long-term solution is not always playing Kieran Tierney there. You know, I do think we lose a lot of value of Kieran Tierney not playing as a left back or as a left wing back because he is an excellent crosser. Don't get me wrong, I think Bukayo Saka is a very good crosser as well. But I do think that sometimes, you know, why not just give Kieran the license to be able to just bomb up and down? I feel like he loves to do that, and I do feel like at the moment we prevent him from doing that with the positions that he takes up. I've also got a feeling he'd relish this game as well. So I'd play Kieran Tierney, but I'd play him as a left wing back. Also, I think playing him as a left wing back, it might take him physically a little bit out of the fire, so to speak, because he has been banged up a lot recently. Kieran is quite susceptible to injuries, so I think that's another reason that I've done this. And I think if you start to set Gabriel up as that guy who could potentially play in this position, remember you still got the likes of Mari to come into this team. You still got the likes of who knows what is happening with Saliba. I know he had some really sad news recently, but you know you would think at least long term Saliba to come into the team. Who knows what's going on with Chambers? Who knows what's going on with Mustafi? But I feel like for me, these are the sort of players that you've got to try and figure out how you're going to play them moving forward. But I'm going with Gabriel on the left-hand side of this. In the middle, I'm going David Luiz because that's his position. And on the right-hand side, I'm going Rob Holding. Rob Holding at the moment is going through a bit of a one game is good, one game is shit. One game is good, one game is shit. I'd love for him to break that little kind of monotony because he had, in his last game, I don't think it was particularly good. The game before that, I thought it was excellent. So I think he needs to find a way of breaking that little cycle of his. So I'm sticking with Rob Holding in this game. Right wing back, it's never going to happen. I very much recognize that. Cedric is fit, and Bellerin is Arteta's blue-eyed boy. But this is my hope for 1 to 11. So I go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles as right wing back. As left wing back, I'm going with Kieran Tierney, as I've said. In the middle, I've gone with Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka, because quite frankly, this midfield that we were trying to rebuild, it looks like this is probably going to be our best quartet. Our best duet moving forward. You would think that the closer Monday gets, the more likely someone is like Guendouzi to stay. So I think Arteta's biggest challenge from that point onwards is, right, so how do you reintegrate Guendouzi back into the squad and potentially back into the team? But for now, these two would be the guys that play for me. Up top, I'm going with Aubameyang on the left. I'm going with Pepe on the right. Now, I know there'll be temptation for Willian to play. Willian, for me, should only ever be used as a utility player. I'm sick of all these starts. It's all well and good taking the piss out of Pepe and saying he's a write-off this, he's a write-off that. And the guy actually needs a chance. He needs a chance to show that he's a write-off or a chance to show what he can do. So for me, you're not going to see me talking about Pepe being a write-off just yet. I understand that Willian had a really good debut, but I just don't want us to fall into a bit of a Mkhitaryan space with Willian. I'd like us to just pump the brakes a little bit, calm down, and let's go with Pepe. I actually thought when Pepe came on, for me, I know I never did player ratings midweek because I had these audio problems of mine. I'd have given Pepe a 7. I thought he was reasonably dangerous. I know he was getting trashed in the chat room, but I thought he was all right. I thought every time you got on the ball, he looked dangerous to me. And that's for me is the best Pepe. Not sure I necessarily buy him on the left, but I buy him in a bit of a free role. And that kind of looked like what was happening midweek. They just gave him a free role and said, right, run where you like. We'll support you. Now, obviously, that's going to take some time for him to get used to that, but I think it potentially could be an answer. You guys know I'd switch from this back five and potentially use that extra man in Pepe to play him as a number 10. And like I said, just giving him a free role. But let's see what happens. But Pepe on the right-hand side. And then Lacazette. I think for Lacazette, he seems to be in very, very good form. So there's no reason to drop him. For Lacazette, what I'd like to see now is he's never really struggled to score against big teams. If you're going to stay moving forward, it's just going to be like, all right, cool. Why don't I try and score against a team like this? So that's why I'm going to go with Lacazette. I think all in all, provided we take this game seriously, I think we'll beat them 3-1. I think ultimately we'll have too much quality for them, and that will shine through. So I'm going to go with 3-1. I guess, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the chat room. I'm going to try and highlight some predictions now, just to see what you lot are thinking. 43 people, which is amazing, considering it is late as fuck. Remember, guys, we'll be on a couple of times tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a watch along with Lee tomorrow on Lee's channel, as per usual. Then both me and Lee will come on after to do a player ratings on this channel. And then later on in the evening, I'll be doing a member stream because I suppose it's all well and good me ranting, but what about my members? Do they feel like ranting? I'm sure they do. So I'll give a chance of that. In between all of those, keep the notification bell on. You will find some treats. That's all I'm going to say. So that's for all subscribers, that one. And for members as well, thinking about it. All right. Let me see. Some predictions, guys, ahead of tomorrow, and I'll highlight them before I get off to sleep. Or if I can sleep now. Looks dangerous, but fails to give it end product. I want him to get stronger, but he needs to start. He needs to start in order for him to get stronger. Omar says a 2-0 win, Arsenal win. Overplan says a 2-1 Arsenal win. Okay. People quietly confident. Is Mari still injured for another 2 weeks? He's training at the moment. For another 2 weeks he's injured, and then he's like back into full training and ready for availability. So to be honest, he's in full training, but he's not quite ready for availability yet. I think he was actually mentioned in the press conference. Irish Shamey says 3-0 Arsenal. Seagun says 3-2 Arsenal. Gosh, now, okay. So quietly confident. Bamboo says 2-1. Kangaroo says 3-1 Arsenal. And Mr. Martin says 3-1. And Bertrand, come on, Bertrand. Come on, my guy. 1-0 Sheffield United. All right, cool. And then Afsar says 0-0 the Gunners. I hear you, Ben. I hear you. All right, well, you guys, let me again continue, guys, to let me know what you think in the comments below. Even if you're going to rant, I'll try and reply to it. Your engagement in the comments has been great recently, so let's keep it up. Let's keep it going because that also helps get the show noticed. So make sure you do something with those likes if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I guess until tomorrow, guys. Have a good Saturday evening, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Doses.